La di da di da di da di dooby 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 da.
A quick advertisement.
Well, don't just chuffing sit there doing your best impersonation of a chuffing cuppy fish. Get me banged on your stinky, airy, chuffing, smelly, pungent armpits. You forgot yesterday your chuffing walking cesspit.
New improved formula. Chuffy deodorant. With new verbal technology. And chuffing names, blames, browbeats, and chuffing bullies, and smelling chuffing delicious. Available at all chuffing major retailers in for a chuffing treat.
Chicken coma, chicken coma. Chuffing persuaded and bread and a bloody onion bhaji. Onion bhaji. I want to eat me bloody papadum. I want to eat me chakada, diddly da da da, choppy mango chutney, bloody mango chutney, with me chakada, in me papadum, chopping papadum, bloody Papa John. Hello, sunshine, sweethearts. I hope you enjoyed that. Welcome to another chuffing installment. Big Al, the old chuffing proverbial whiskey monger, you're in for a chuffing treat. Now, I thought I'd start off this episode today, sweethearts, a little bit bloody different, because I'm a cultured man. And what I've managed to do there is, if you interpret it, is that I've killed two chuffing proverbial chuffing birds with one chuffing stone. I nearly said two chuffing stones with one bird there, that's a different story. Two birds, one chuffing stone. I've shown my love of all things operatic, and especially the great chuffing tenors. I like fibres as well, but I prefer tenors. But also, I've shown my appreciation, my deep love and admiration of all things chuffing Indian cuisine. Plus, I threw in that last little chuffing thing at the end about chuffing Papa John's, because I like pizzas too. So I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I wrote down here, well, before we get into that, me personally, I've not heard the video yet, because I've just recorded it. So I can't, I kind of heard it as I was singing it. To me, it sounded chuffing tremendous. I think it was chuffing up there. You know what I mean? And also, I know how to change the lyrics from Ness and Dormer to Chicken Korma, but it wanted revamping. It was getting a bit chuffing stale. But I wrote down here a lot of the tenors that I particularly admire and appreciate. You've got chuffing, obviously, bloody Pavarotti, Domingo, Chiares, Caruso, you've got Corelli, you've got Colombo, Parro, and chuffing Taggart. And even Simon Le Bon's had a go. But I think I was chuffing up there. Right, we are going to be doing a little bit of whiskey in a bit, but I just want to say I went out on chuffing straight the other day. And that's what seems to be happening now, is I'm starting to get a little bit more chuffing popular. Starting to gain a little bit of chuffing traction. I bumped into one of my chuffing subscribers. And he basically came up to me and started talking about chuffing product and all the program and everything. He says, have you got any material? Now I had to think, because this is not a question that I get asked on a chuffing regular basis, have I got any material? So I pondered it for a little bit, and I said, I've got some cotton. He says, I've got some wool, some leather, some denim, some polyester, nylon and chuffing acrylic. He said, no, Al, I don't mean that kind of material. I mean, have you got any gags? I said, oh, all right. I said, no, I get you. I said, I've got a whiffle, I've got a bit, and I said, I've got a couple of butterfly gags. I says, I don't use them that often anymore. I says, because at my age, I don't get invited to those kinds of chuffing parties. And I asked him, it got a bit bloody awkward. I asked him if he wanted to bloody buy them, and he seemed to get that bloody flustered, and he just bloody slung his chuffing up. And that will do that, right? Right, that aside, let's get now into the chuffing whiskey. Now, I can't drink too chuffing much today, because basically I've been out sick. I've been away from the chuffing warehouse, I've been out sick with a bad arm. And also, for good measure, I ended up with chuffing balanitis. I mean, you chuffing Google it. So I don't want to chuffing upset me balanitis with this bloody whiskey. Went to doctor's, and he said, I'll give you some chuffing steroid cream. I said, steroid cream? He says, what are you worried about? I said, look, I'm not sure about this. I says, I don't want to end up with a chuffing bell end, like same size and chuffing shape as Arnold Schwarzenegger's chuffing left bicep or his chuffing right bum cheek. He said, not that kind of steroid, mate. He says, it quietens things down, if anything, don't make things chuffing bigger. I says, chuffing Mrs. Big Al might appreciate it, but I won't appreciate it, you know what I mean? Right, I've got, here it is. Today we're doing Bushmills, the chuffing original. As you can see, not much left. I've been enjoying this. Quite good value. I think it's only about 18, 19 quid from Aldi. I got it from Asda. 18, 19 quid from chuffing Asda. And I've been enjoying that. But like I say, I've not been drinking much because I've not been chuffing well. But I've got some information written down here for you. I said, the old Bushmills is an Irish whiskey distillery in Bushmills, County Antrim, Northern Ireland, established in 1784. So I wrote down here, Clint Eastwood, when this were established, you're only 2 or 3 years old. That's how old it is. It's owned by Proximo Spirits. So the water is drawn from the St. Columns Rill, which is a tributary of the River Bush. And now we need to talk about the chuffing range now. I've not necessarily named everything in the range, but most of what's in the range I've wrote down here. They do Bushmills Original, which is what we're doing. They do Black Bush, they do Red Bush, they do Cape Bush, Hairy Bush. They do Bushmills 10, 12, 16 and 20-year-old chuffing malts. They're in for a bloody treat. And it said here, Bushmills Original pre-prohibition combination of their chuffing single malt and lighter grain chuffing whiskers. Rich, smooth and warming. Triple distilled, matured in both bourbon and sherry casks. And its profile is considered to be fresh fruit and vanilla. Let's see if we've got any more bloody notes here. No, I think we're all right for the chuffing time being. So I've already poured him in. So we'll go, right, here we go. Left nostril, right nostril, chin, left nipple, nest and dormer, round the old chuffing Ave Maria. I like shovers, buddy, shonkers, beaters, buddy, cows and nostrils in here. Let's have a chuffing store. It's not overly sweet. In fact, I would probably describe it as quite savoury. It's a little bit of fruit, a little bit of light fruit, but not ripe fruits. We're not talking about like berries or strawberries or blackberries or anything like this. This is more like your orchard fruits, like maybe chuffing apples, something like this. Tiny, and I mean tiny. Little bit of vanilla. There's no smoke. I think what I smell, because I've been sniffing this for the last chuffing 3 or 4 weeks, you know what I mean? So I know what it smells like. It's quite grassy. It's quite breezy. It's quite airy. And when I say airy, I don't mean it's like King Kong's chuffing knackers. I mean airy is in, you know, an expansive space with a certain velocity of air ruminating through chuffing ether. That kind of thing. But it smells good. It's not powerful. It don't surge up your chuffing coals and nostrils. It's gentle, but there's plenty to be sniffed if you take the time. You've got the chuffing places, you know what I mean? If you're a raging alcoholic, you'd just be drinking out of a bottle. You're not even be smelling it, will you? You'd just be damaging your chuffing liver. So it's up to you. But I say my personal thing, drink responsibly. Right, let's have a little chuffing sip. Get it round the old bloody pink wriggly, you know what I mean? On the old palate. It's light. It tastes how it smells. It's complimentary. It's a good mouthfeel. Gets your mouth tingling a little bit of spice, mild spice. Nothing too, it's not going to catch you out. It's not a chuffing choker. It's not raging hot or anything. It's moderate, very, very moderate. Yeah, a little bit of apple. A bit grassy. Like I say, a bit airy. A little bit malty, a little bit biscuity. Good all-round flavour. The finish, quicker than a chuffing 10-yard chuffing dash. There's basically no chuffing finish on it. But it's very drinkable. If I had to say one last little sip and then I'll give you my final chuffing evaluation. Right, here we go. For me, you can drink it neat. You could drink it on chuffing rocks. You could have it as a mixer. You could have it in a cocktail. You could do all that. It's all rounder. You can do anything with it. My suggestion, my personal suggestion, try it out. Let me know how you're chuffing it on. I would drink this personally as a chaser. Get yourself a beer. Get yourself a little chuffing tot of that. Don't have to be a big one. It's on a Saturday night when you're watching Chuffing Strictly Come Chuffing Dancing or something like that. Get your chuffing feet up. Watch all that bloody lot. Have a drink of your beer. Give it 5 seconds or so. Let that chuffing go down. Have a little sip of that. Then if you think about how it's processing in your chuffing mouth and your chuffing tonsillitis. And if it seems very, very complimentary, what I tend to do, if they seem to really be natural chuffing bedfellas, is I'll have a drink of beer. Then while the beer's still in my mouth, I'll put a little chuffing tot of that in, mix it around like a chuffing cement mix and then swallow it. And sometimes it's beauty. It's something to chuff and behold. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, I wrote something down about this the other day, because like I say, it's not my first time I'm drinking this. I don't want to lie to you and say I've never drunk it before. You know what I mean? Chuffing bottles nearly chuffing gone, you know what I mean? But I basically wrote down, this is my way, it's a plain Jane. I wrote down, it doesn't need to be tarted up. It's the girl next door who wakes up, no makeup, tussles and chuffing Barney, drops the kids off at school before buggering off to Aldi for half a dozen eggs and some chuffing of Darmy beans. I says, oh, for extra measure, artistic licence, I says her husband's a chuffing fishmonger. But that's what it is. It's just a good, dependable little chuffing treat. Now, the last episode, the chuffing Death Star thread, got me thinking, got me ruminating about chuffing bucket lists. And I mentioned a few last week, or other week, but this is basically I've given more time, more consideration, more thought, more analytical chuffing and emotional processing to this chuffing conundrum. And this is my final, definitive chuffing Big Al chuffing bucket list. Let me know what you think.
Metal bucket. Chuffing wooden bucket. Bloody plastic bucket. Chuffing Mrs. bucket. Bloody tamper evidence bucket.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's a chuffing Big Al chuffing bucket list. If the Death Star comes back, and this time it doesn't turn around and piss off to another chuffing solar system, and it decides to blow us up, and I'm thinking that's going to happen, these are the buckets I'm chuffing going to get on my bucket list. Talking to other people about it, and I wrote down there on about chuffing skydiving, and bloody swimming with dolphins, eating bloody caviar and chuffing bearded clams and all sorts of chuffing shit. Personally, me, I'll stick to my chuffing buckets. Now, have a chuffing great day and a great life. Love you. Catch you later, sweetheart. Sunshines. Peace.
Wibbling, wobbling, wobbling free. The Wobbles at Wimbledon coming our way, yeah.